Welcome to the Founders Table podcast, where we unveil the insights behind entrepreneurship and becoming the CEO of your own life. Subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more.
We are live, and I feel alive today.
You should feel alive.
I feel great.
We just gave you a special role here at APN.
That's right. I got promoted.
The new VP of Leadership right here.
VP of Leadership.
Nick's taking on this role for us in the company. Excited about it. Hope it's not a big fucking mistake. You know, we had a big void here since
The only mistake is you haven't done this a lot sooner.
Yeah,
you got this nuclear bomb in your arsenal, and you're out there with
nuclear bomb.
You're out there with rubber band guns.
Warhead. You know, ever since my brother JJ passed away about a year ago, less than that, 7 months ago, I believe it was. You know, he was a big part of our company, big part of our culture. He was big country, you know, and we had this big void here for the last 6 months, and then you know, me and Nick talked at the event, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, out in Utah last week. And he's like, dude, I would love to fill that void for you. I love doing it. I want to be in your office more anyway. I like working out of there, the energy. And I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do it. So today was the first day. We announced Nick. Everybody here loves Nick. He does some morning meetings for us, and he had his first session today with 3 of our managers. I'm sure that went pretty good. I hope it did.
Went phenomenal.
Good.
Yeah, that's them. But
I didn't get a chance to meet with you yet, but on calls
I always
all the
think
time.
I'm good, but you should ask them.
Yeah. Well, after this, you could give me some insider feedback on how that went. Derek, we met with Derek. He said it was great.
Yeah.
We didn't talk to Nick or Dante yet. I'm sure they'll relay the same message. So I'm excited, man.
Dude, I'm excited because I love nothing more than this. I think you heard me say, and you heard me say it several times, is that, like, I love business, but I really love the people of business, because it's the business plan, like, doesn't have any feelings. It's the people that come in with their feelings and, you know, their stories and their limiting beliefs that either drive the business forward or drag the business down, right? So it was it's cool. And like JJ, God rest his soul, man. Like, I mean, he was a big dude, just in like
Stature?
In stature.
Yeah.
But man, he was just such a big beacon and a light. So, you know, to be filling those literal big shoes, both metaphorically and energetically, is not something that, you know, I take lightly. And the same, for me, it fills up my cup too. And I think, you know, there's power in proximity. You know, most of my team's a virtual team, and we got people all over the country, kind of all over the world, really. And you just don't get that same, like, you know, energy dynamic with proximity, right? And so I think for me, being in here and just, like, you know, seeing everything that you guys have done, it, like, fills up my cup, and then I get to pour out of that cup into some of the voids that are in here, you know. And then
plus, you know these guys for a long time too,
because
you know you're
some of
around
them
a
used to
lot.
work for me,
And some of them used to even work for you.
Yeah.
You know, Christian, who's probably our top guy right now, used to work for you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Christian was making $500 a week when he worked for you, or 16. Yeah, he was just telemarketing. So
Yeah.
$600 a
Might
week.
have been making more than that.
Well, it sounds better. He's making 500, maybe 800. Let's call it. But
He wasn't making the money he's making now. That's for damn sure.
No. This was a street kid. Grew up, grew up in gangs on the street and getting in fucking trouble. And I think you were his first job on the phones.
Yeah.
You know, and then he gave, you know what really happened with him? He left you, right? And he left you not because he wanted to leave, but because that was right when
I was selling the company.
when you were selling the company. And then he came by us, right, in the old office down the road in York,
Yeah,
Linda,
yeah.
you know, Loving's old office. And he came work for us. He was there for a month, and he disappeared. And he got locked up for his 3rd DWI or something like that.
Jeez.
And he was in, like, what happened to this kid Christian? You know, and they're like, nobody heard from him. We saw him in the records. They looked him up on the computer that he was locked up, and he called from jail.
He uses one phone call.
He uses one phone call, and he called. And he said, hey, man, I'm really sorry. Please, I don't want to get fired. I know I can do this. This stupid DWI, blah, blah, blah. He's like, just please, could you send me a script so I could study it while I'm here locked up?
Wow.
And please give me another opportunity when I come back. Please, please, please.
Dude, I would say yes 1,000 times.
And we
over.
did. We said, yeah, you know what? And we did. We actually sent him a script. He came back out, and then, you know, took him some time. And now, forward 5 years later, he's the guy who runs the whole office. Right? He's Scott's right-hand man.
Yeah, and he's making, you know, 6 figures plus.
Yeah, he made like 170 last year or something, 150, whatever it was.
That's crazy.
You know, and he came from making, you know, 5 years ago, $700-800 a week.
Wow.
But he's, you know, he takes it on, and he's the hardest worker in here.
Yeah.
Usually.
And that's the type of person you want to build upon and build around, right? and because if there's one, there's many.
Yeah, and you know, and with him specifically, no skill set, no college, low education level, street smarts, yeah, but straight fucking work ethic. Dude.
And that's what it takes.
Work
standards.
ethic.
Remember? Standards.
Yep.
It takes the standards. And so
He even moved from Corona to literally right across the street, like literally right across the street, so he could be here earlier every day and just walk right over to work every day and get here early.
see, and that's someone that's hungry. That's someone that wants it. That's someone that has both the desire matched with the dedication. You know, a lot of people have desires, but they don't have the dedication. You know, it's like maybe it was Nick Alfano or Cody Jefferson or one of the amazing people that we've been blessed to have in our lives that said, you know, let me follow a man for a day, and I'll show you the true nature of his desire, because he's going to look at the discipline of that person's day. He's going to look at how dedicated they are to what they said that they really want.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, this is going to be fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. And for me, it's great because I've seen this thing in so many different stages, right? And like this stage that you're at now, you would have wished for when, you know, it was 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But like this stage is, you know, now we're kind of hitting that glass ceiling again, right? So now we got to do different things to get a different result. So I was sharing with Scott, your GM. I'm like, I want to take some measurements, like, and let's really see, you know, what happens, like with our collaborative minds, your mind, my mind. Yeah, because you don't know this, but I was walking your guys through some exercises today, and
yeah, we didn't talk since you had the meeting, so I had no idea.
Yeah, and essentially it's a lot of the stuff that you say to them, Scott says to them, you know, but it's just different when it's said from like a neutral third party,
an objective point of view,
right? And they were like they were leaning in and nodding their heads, and Scott was like, "Damn it, I've told him that." I was like, "I know," but at some point, you know, like you start to sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. It's just want.
It's like your dad telling you the same thing, and then someone else tells you.
And that's funny that you brought that up, because he goes, "Man, my son, you know, is a badass at jiu-jitsu, but I can't coach him."
Right.
Like if I tell him to do it, he's like, ah. So I think, you know, having this outside perspective in companies like yours, and even in mine, like we have outside consultants. We've got, you know, we're hiring an advisor and board member. I can't really make the announcement yet, but you know him very well. We've got outside counsel.
I heard.
Yeah, outside counsel.
He was consulting with me about it.
Yeah. I think you told him to slash the price, so that was good.
He told you that?
Yeah.
How'd you know that? He told you?
He told me.
Oh, you see that?
Yeah.
He did you a solid.
Yeah, he saved me some money.
Hey, don't forget about that, bro, when the end of the month comes, you know what I mean?
A little brown bag for my bookie. But no, you need that outside perspective. You need that outside counsel. I mean, that's why, you know, you're an event junkie. You weren't before.
Not at all.
No, you're like, this mumbo jumbo, walk on coals, talk about my feelings.
I did do that, though.
You did walked on the coals?
I did, yeah. I did it for that.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if it actually burnt my feet.
It doesn't.
No, I don't know how.
I don't know how either.
I have no idea how, bro.
It's raging hot. You see them like taking it out of the fire and putting it on there.
Bro, and by the way, we're speaking about Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within.
Yeah.
And I did it back in on the East Coast. It's probably like 2014, something like that, 10, 11 years ago. And when we did it back then, it was like January or like late December. It was fucking freezing outside, and the whole day they were prepping us for the fire walk.
They show you the fire, remember?
They show you the fire
On the
outside.
video.
Yeah. And it just had snowed 2 days before back, so there were snowbanks everywhere in the parking lot where they were doing it. So you went outside, it was like 5 degrees outside, there were snowbanks, and it was pitch fucking dark. And they had, I don't know when you did it, if they did this, but they had like people playing the drums.
Yes.
And it was like dark, and it was just, and they had like maybe 9 of the coal,
the lanes
of coal lined up, and like my heart was beating through my fucking chest. I'm like, but people are watching them doing it; they're not getting burnt. And then they had a snowbank at the end, so you walk through it and then put your feet in the snow. And then it became my turn to go, and I was like so nervous. I was overweight back then. I was the old Anthony Bacilio, and it was my thing. Go, hold on one second, we gotta refresh the coals.
Oh.
And they came and brought out a fresh hot batch right out of the fucking wheelbarrow and laid them out. They were like fresh, and I was just like, fuck? And then I did. How
Make
we
a
talk-
move, make a
yeah,
move.
Make a move. And then you say that mantra. I
Yeah,
hope that mantra
I
was,
forget it.
Oofsa, oofsa, or whatever the fuck it was. You just walk right through it and you don't fucking feel it. Meanwhile, your feet should be scorched.
Scorched.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Dude, it's crazy. The same thing. I was like getting sick, like physically sick to my stomach, you know, and like they're showing the fire and like, all right, we're gonna go. And the same thing.
Yeah, dude, it's like intimidating, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody's going. Everybody making noises. Yeah, it was intimidating.
So crazy when I did it. I think I've done it 3 times now. Because I would send a lot of my people, you know, I would make a contest, take them to the Unleash the Power with him, make a whole trip out of it. But the first time I did it, you know, this is sort of my first intro to like paid personal development. I was reading like Trump's book and I read, you know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad and some of the other stuff. But this was like the first time I went like
The Art of the Deal?
All in. Yeah, The Art of the Deal is my favorite book back in the day.
Beast.
It opens up with him buying the Hilton Hotel or some shit. But anyway, so I'm doing it. And so there was all the lanes, like 10, 12 lanes. And then there was like this VIP lane. And it was for like Tony's like, you know, platinum partners. I look over, I shit you not, Oprah Winfrey.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so her and I went like almost like at the same time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I went and I was like, I mean, I felt like I ran across the coals, you know, and I not burned. But I think that kind of, again, when would you ever walk across hot coals if you weren't in that environment, you weren't around those people?
Never.
Never. Right. And when like, and having the people that have gone before you, and then also knowing there's a line of people behind you, like how motivated are you to do it?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what life is like finding people that are a little out front, people that are a little bit behind.
You would never do it if it was just like 3. That's the thing too.
Yeah, if we were at the beach barbecuing,
There's
weenies,
thousands of people, and people in front of you are doing it. People behind you are in line doing it. You're like, I can't be a pussy. I can't fucking do it. I almost like wanted to get out of line. I was like, there's no way.
Right.
But they're all doing it.
and then you do it.
Yeah.
And then that raises your level of belief, right? That belief barometer that I was talking about this morning, it either gets, you know, inflated or deflated. And most of that is like through proximity of the people that you're around, right? Like even with the event that we just ran, like
Great event.
how cool is it to be in the room with some of these people?
It was awesome.
Right.
I don't want to miss any events now.
Right. And you had people that were like looking up to you.
Yeah, we had a great client there who was singing the praises of APN about how much we've helped his business, and it was great to hear that.
Yeah.
I got called out a couple times, you know, which was always, I was like, why am I not at every one? I got a scheduling conflict or not, I got to make it happen.
Gotta be
because
there.
I mean, and this room and what he's building right now with Founders Table, I mean, it was like over 60 people, but like really established business owners, guys that are doing big fucking numbers. And the age range was, like I said, like 45 to like 65. It wasn't guys trying to figure it out.
Right.
It was guys that established that want to just get better.
Right.
And they were motivated and they're ambitious and they're all taking notes and they're listening intently and they're literally trying to build real relationships in there. It was like the fucking real deal. I told you, I was like, wow, you got this fucking really going now.
Dude,
2 years in the making.
2 years, and you've had a front row seat to that. How many times did I, you know, go into your office and just
Like, fuck.
Yeah, like I'm not doing this anymore.
This fuck, yeah, I don't know. And then you know what? Look, this last event, I was like, dude, I think you fucking got it.
I think we do. I mean, like we're double tapping, double downing. You know, all the things.
And you're
all
really
the-
helping these people.
That's it. I was just on with my branding company, and I'm like, you know, guys, like this is not just like a cute T-shirt that I put on every single day. You know, I put this on every day to remind myself of who I am, who I serve, and who we need to find, like other fellow founders. Like you guys need to embody this. Like we're helping people. And I was giving examples, like, you know, we had David who, when we met him, was in debt, and he was both in
Good dude.
Yeah. And he was in like,
That's the guy with the fences. And,
yeah. He was in
I love what he said.
He was in physical debt, but he was in emotional bankruptcy.
He hated it. He hated his business.
Yeah, his wife hated it, and now he went from 4.5 million to 12 million. He's got 2 million in the bank. He's loving life. He's going on trips. He's flying first class, and he's finally seeing himself where he originally saw himself. And Lee, and you guys have helped out tremendously with him. You know, he took more vacations in 2025 than he did in the previous 5 years.
Yeah.
Like put a price tag on that, you know?
Yeah, you can't.
And the funny thing is that people like will negotiate with themselves, and they won't. They're willing to pay the price of pain, and not willing to invest in the possibility of the pleasure of the future. It's so crazy from a humanistic perspective, you know?
Yeah, and it's you know, that event was, I learned so much. I mean, I was there the whole the whole time. Besides my my penthouse.
Sweet.
So I got.
You didn't know I upgraded you.
No.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I think I got 4 VIP upgrades. I gave one to Milan Barbo, one to you, one to Braven. I forget who the other one was.
So I got to the hotel. It was the Pendry Hotel, which is a pretty high-end hotel.
It's owned by the Montage.
Yeah, it's high-end hotel, very expensive. And when I got there, my room wasn't ready. I went to grab a little lunch, and then you know, they said, "Oh, your room's ready." And I'm up to my room, and I walked in the room, and I looked to the right, and I saw like a big, huge, like a Viking fucking stove kitchen. And I looked to the left, and I saw a couple other rooms, and I go, "You sure this is my room?" He goes, "Yeah, this is your room." I go, "Okay," the valet guy. And then I walked into the kitchen. There was huge dining room, huge fucking table with 10 chairs, couch, TV. I go, "You sure this is my room?" He goes, "Yeah." He's like, I never seen a room this big before. He goes, I walk, full bathroom, shower. Then I go into my king bed, full bathroom, shower. I go into the other room, double bunk beds, bathroom, shower. It's just me. It's like a 3,000. By the way, I looked it up. That room is normally 3,000 a night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I had like this huge, I was by myself in this huge like suite. I'm calling it the palace.
It was a palace. Yeah, and I like I'm a firm believer. In fact, my father-in-law said this. He said, "Nick, people won't often remember what you did, but they'll remember how you made them feel."
Yeah, I
right?
felt like a fucking king.
Yeah, exactly. As you are.
Yeah.
As you are.
I had a
Like,
big party up there. I didn't have a
a
party
little
up there.
opera ski party.
Big party. Me, your wife, Nick Alfano and his wife having a glass, and Naveen, and had a glass of wine. That was the party.
That was a party.
Yeah.
But dude, but just think about even that. Like, you got Naveen, you got Nick, you got you. You know, my wife, Nick's wife. Just think about the proximity there, like all those people and what they're doing.
That was great, dude. Me and Alfano trained fucking every day. We
Right.
talked the whole time, had some ideas. I learned a ton from that guy, Scott. I came right back with Mackenzie. We sat down. I took good notes. We laid out every AI
I'm gonna
tool.
give you the slide deck, by the way.
Give me the slide deck, and then, you know, Mackenzie did some research on every single one. We're going to start using them. I mean, just like you just learn so much,
And
man.
like, what can that do to level up your business? you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like,
If we're using some of these tools, we're going to amp up the social media.
Yep.
You know, we put together a good strategy for the new product now that Mackenzie laid out on a slide deck too. So, yeah, it was awesome. I don't want to miss any of them.
and what I was telling your guys today, you know, I was telling like, guys, like, I wish you were there. You know, like, I wish everybody could be in that
I
room.
sent the message over.
Yeah.
You know, on the chat, you heard what I said, Alfano too.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is so dumb for all of us not to be at every single one of these. We get a chance to collaborate together and then learn from other guys that are crushing it. It was a great room.
And you get one little nugget that like turns into a gold mine. You know.
Yeah, Scott's whole nugget was, and the other nugget I got, I don't know if you heard this, but probably that was the best thing. So when Brody was up there from Cap Trust,
Yeah.
when I don't know if you heard, I know you were running around a lot,
Right.
but he told a story about Alabama football. Did you hear that?
I heard, I started to hear it, but then I had to go out for a.
What he said was this. He goes, you know, Nick Saban, who's known as probably the greatest college coach, he won 7 titles in 11 years, which is fucking unheard of in college football,
Right.
with Alabama. And he said, and then he was known to bring a lot of like high level people in to speak with the team. And there was one meeting that, and Brody is friends with Andy Andrews, famous author. Nick Saban had Andy Andrews come speak to the team. When he was done, him and Brody talked. How'd it go? He's like, dude, these guys figured out how to win the game before the competition even knew they were playing. He's like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, who decides the outcome of the game outside of the players and the coaches the most? And he asked us the question, and someone raised their hand. The fans? No. Right? The refs. He's like, the refs. He's like, so what they decided to do was like, look, he's like, we're not walking into the football stadium all thugged out with all these cut off and tank tops. We're going to wear suits and ties. All of us as a team, we're going to walk and we're going to shake the referee's hand and say, how you doing, sir, and shake their hand. Let's have a good game today, sir. Every time the ball falls down, you score a touchdown, you're not going to toss it to the ref. You're going to walk up. You're going to say, here you go, sir. You're going to hand it to him. He's like, and you know who was the least penalized team over those 11 years? Alabama football.
Yeah. and
think
that-
about how sick that is.
And that's perception thing. And when these guys, they act differently, they carry
These
themselves.
young men aren't committing fouls out there.
Right. No, these are nice young men.
Yeah,
you
right,
know?
right. As much as that sounds crazy, think about it. They were the least penalized team.
Right.
Now, you could call it discipline, which I'm sure they had a ton of.
Sure.
But how about that effect on it?
Right.
I was like, wow, what a great nugget that was.
And the effect on the mindset too, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like
You're a professional.
Professional. Like anybody
Yeah.
watching this that's a founder or even an entrepreneur, you are a professional. Your profession is to be a professional and be the best at what you do for the company that you work for or you own. And that requires training. That requires understanding the rules of the game. That requires practicing and discipline. Requires sparring, right, with other people who are in the game too.
Dude, I mean, Pennington, I love hearing.
Dude, you know the one that hit me?
Which one?
Oh man. So John Pennington Jr. and his son Bridger. John's probably, I don't know, late 50s, early 60s. Bridger, I don't even think.
I could listen to John speak all day about the U.S. dollar and the reserve and the history of the dollar and how it works and the oil in different countries. Like, I could listen to that shit all day because probably 98% of people
don't know it.
Have no idea about how that all works.
Right.
How the U.S. protects the dollar and why they changed it, why the euro was created. Like, it was so fucking interesting.
Right. And John runs like a 28. I think he's retired now, but he built and ran a 28 billion with a B, 28 billion dollar with 100 different 14 or 44 companies in his portfolio. Bridger, helps people launch a private equity fund, but it was this father-son dynamic duo, which is also cool for me to see from another perspective because I would love that. Like, dude, how cool would it be that Noah?
It was the first time that they spoke on stage together, and
right.
it was the dynamic was watching him correct his son, and,
right,
but
right.
it in a cool way,
right?
Not in a disparaging way,
right?
But
John said something that, dude, it knocked me out of my shoes. He said, "I was never afraid of being broke. I was never afraid of being old. I was afraid of being broken old. At the same time.
At the same time.
Ooh,
that was good.
I get chills thinking about it.
That was good.
Like, I'm not afraid to be broke. I've already been broke, I'm not afraid of getting old. I am getting old.
Well, how about when he told the story about, so he had a business partner. They lived in a regular, modest house.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this guy was very wealthy, but his kids
running a $28 billion fund. Do you know what the fees are just the fees on running $28 billion?
But his kids had no idea that they were wealthy. So his son wanted to get into the business, and he said, "Hey, go talk to my business partner, who are 50-50." And the kid went to go to the business partner's house, and the guy had a mansion. And he's like, "Dude, why are you talking to me? Talk to your dad." And he's like, he told him to come talk to you. He's like, "Just so you know, me and your dad are 50-50 partners. Your dad's exactly as wealthy as I am." And he went back to his dad's house. He's like, "What the hell?" He's like, "Dude, I didn't want you guys raised in this big mansion. The only way I knew was the way I raised, by learning what it takes to grind and work hard."
Yeah, he said his dad was driving the same car for 10 years, the dent in the door.
Guy's worth millions of dollars, but didn't want to teach his kids that things come easy and to learn how to work hard.
Yeah.
So he was super wealthy, living like a modest life because he didn't want his kids to just think that they had it made.
It's
a mindset.
It's a mindset. Like,
it's a fucking mindset.
It's crazy when you really break it down and you think about it. But you wouldn't get that if you don't get in the room, if you don't get in the conversation, if you don't get in proximity. Another powerful moment was, we were talking about the five.
The five was good.
The sum of five, right? Like, you're the sum of the five people that you hang and spend a lot of time with. You and I hang out all the time. Our lives are pretty damn similar, right?
Yep.
Like, our views on marriage, our views on parenting, our views on money, the way we make money, how much money we make, they're very much in line.
And we did an exercise. Everybody had to write down their five people to surround themselves with and put some notes to it. And then we all had to break out and discuss those five people. And that was very cool too.
Yeah, but then it was great because the guy they're sharing, our dear friend Nick Alfano, he went through this super vulnerable moment.
My God.
Very vulnerable.
Very.
And it shook the room. And then at the end of it, he called you up, he called Troy up, he called me up, he called Braven up, and he's like, "Hey, these are my five."
These are my five, yeah.
And
I didn't know he was gonna do that.
And I was like, wow, dude. And we didn't. You and I probably didn't even know that inadvertently we were helping him get through, that hard time in his life. And what would his life be like? What would his marriage be like? What would his business be like if he didn't have that?
Have the guys to lean on.
Yeah, so it's about getting into the right rooms, about getting into the right conversations, having outside perspective, someone that can come in and tell you, "Hey, this is fucked up," or this is working.
And that's a lot of people always ask me, like, how do you get in these rooms? How do you fucking pay?
Yeah.
You pay, and then while you're in the room, you make the relationships, and then you don't pay anymore.
Right.
Because then you make the friendships there.
Right.
You're buying friends. No, you're not buying friends. You're
Right.
buying access.
You're buying a front row seat.
Yeah, you're buying a front row seat to access, and it's your job to build the relationships once you're in there.
Yep.
You know, and it was, you know, now I'm like, I got to get to Tulum, even though I'm going to Mexico to Ziwa the next
And
day.
how far is Ziwa from Tulum?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it happen no matter what. I have to go back and forth because I don't want to put it on my wife, the burden of packing the kids, the passports. My mother-in-law's coming with us because we can't leave her, so we got a 2-bedroom suite, and she'll be in the 1-bedroom, and I'm not gonna leave my wife with the burden of handling all that. It's a lot of stress. So I'm gonna go to Tulum, come back, and the next day go back to Mexico again. But you know, I got business out of this, and I met a lot of great people out of this. I need to fucking be there.
Yeah, no, and you're gonna get a lot of business out of this. Like you're gonna get a lot of high caliber, like very sticky, you know, business out of this. And so you think about that, like you invested to be there, both, you know, to be in the room and then to pay for your room and pay for your flight, time off of work, like so, you know, away from the wife. There's like the tangible and the intangible investment that you had to be there. Dude, you're gonna make that back tenfold.
Yeah, of course.
Not possible though if you're not in that room, not in that conversation.
Yeah, I'm not. And thank God the next 2 after that are both in California.
Yeah,
so I got no excuse.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect. I'm really excited,
Yeah,
man. That was. I told everybody it was one of the best events I've been to.
Wait till we do the one in Greenland.
We're doing one in Greenland.
I'm just kidding.
Their defense is 2 dogs on a sled. That's what he said. That's what he said. Trump.
No, he
He said
didn't.
Greenland's defense is 2 dogs on a sled.
Oh my goodness, this guy. Oh man. Well, we won't. This is not a political
No.
podcast, but no, like, but it's going to be doing cool things like in cool places around the world. 2027, like I've already got 2 spots picked. I'm not going to tell you yet, but they're going to be mind blowing. Like
Can't wait.
Yeah, and then what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually show you the picture of your life, what it's like beyond the borders of your thinking and beyond the borders of your limiting beliefs, and that you can travel nice, you can do these things, experience it, and have rich, deep friendships, and also be rich at the same time.
Yep.
Like, who doesn't want that?
I mean, you're crazy if you don't want.
Who doesn't want a full bank account, a full heart, a full Rolodex, you know, and a full family that is just thriving across the board? That's what life is.
That's why we're here, baby.
Anything short of that, like, yeah. So if you're not, you got to get in this conversation. You got to get into the right rooms. If it's not this room, get into another room. Get into anything. Get your 5 like locked in. Hire outside perspective. Like, let's just build something that has true meaning. Like, because what else are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I love my 5. My 5 was like you, Alfano, Naveen, Dr. Sean. I mean,
probably had 10.
Kevin. Yeah, I had more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow, what a great group of guys I have around me that I talk to.
Right.
And then I also think about, like, and don't get me wrong, my friends from the East Coast, those are my boys from home, but it was just different. It was more like growing up together and partying together. And I just didn't have that bit. I didn't have that over there. And that's one of the main reasons why I came out here was to have that. And I have it now.
Yeah, you built it and you work harder for it.
Yeah.
You've invested heavily into it, both financially, emotionally, like
Everything.
relationally. Yeah. And so if you're not in the right room, change the damn room.
That's going to be the name of the podcast. If you're not in the right room, change the fucking room, the damn room.
Change the damn room. But that's it. We've run out of room on this podcast. We'll see you next time at the Founders Table.